Welcome to oops. Yeah, we never forget the microphone if you're broadcasting. Welcome to Real Turkey channel. This is your old yet healthy host Atilla Yeşilada, stuck in his attic doing YouTube videos all day because he has nothing to do, because he dares not to exit his house, because Turkey is now recording at least 60,000 new COVID-19 cases a day, which elevates us among the top 5 nations suffering from this terrible outbreak. I hope the vaccine arrives here soon, because I'm gonna get a cocktail. I'm gonna get the Chinese, the Russian, and the American/British vaccines to increase effectiveness, because, hey, in Turkey even viruses are different. They're deadlier. I opened with the virus because it's certainly hurting the economy as much as the health of the Turkish people. We just had data from the November period, and I call it the dark November of Turkish economy. Once Bernanke said, well, the economy is going through a muddy patch. November was the muddy patch. In December, we're going to be jaw deep in a swamp. And I have a few charts, but they're in Turkish as usual, simply because I don't make enough money to hire staff and to do a professional edit. But you'll have to trust what I say. The first one I'm going to show here is, okay, I got to find this. This is in Turkish, but you will be familiar with the indicators that I mentioned here. On the top is the Turkstats Economic Confidence Index. I don't think you have that in the United States, but in EU, the EU Commission has a composite confidence index, and this is similar to that. It includes consumer confidence, manufacturing industry confidence, as well as 3 sectoral PMIs, that's construction, retail, and services. What the table here says is that in November, it declined 3.5% on a month-on-month basis. The second row is the financial sector confidence index by Central Bank of Turkey. That too has declined by 2.3% per month. Next is the Bloomberg HT Private Consumer Confidence Index. This is Turkish Bloomberg, should not be confused with the English language Bloomberg, which are completely separate corporate entities. But there, the damage is huge. First of all, the level is very low, 61.5. 2, the monthly decline in consumer confidence is 6.93%. So consumers are basically pulling their hands away from their wallets. And given the fact that 60% of the Turkish economic output goes to domestic consumption, that's not good news. Next is our SUMEX composite PMI, which includes services as well as manufacturing, which declined to 49 with a 0.5 point percentage monthly decline. This is important because 50 is the dividing line between optimism and pessimism, or expansion and decline, and 49 means Turkish economy, the production side, is shrinking. And finally, we have the market PMI, which in Turkey is conducted jointly with Istanbul Chamber of Industry. That is still expanding at 51.4, but it has declined by 2.5% month over month. These are pretty bleak indicators, and it's not the only bad news. I'm trying to find my face here, okay? Yesterday, we also had November preliminary foreign trade deficit figures. Turkish foreign trade deficit in November exceeded $5 billion. Now, admittedly, part of this is gold imports. Turkey imports a huge amount of gold. Like Indians and our Arab brothers and sisters, we're gold bugs. I don't know why Indians and Arabs love gold, but for Turks, it's very simple. That's because they don't have any confidence in their governments and in their financial system. And the interest rates are too low. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Therefore, people buy gold and stash it underneath their mattresses, or if they have vaults and safes in their houses, they put it there. Doesn't make a difference. Over the last 12 months, Turkey imported $24 billion worth of gold. And it's not in my fillings. It's all under the mattresses. What really bothers me is that in November, exports declined. It's a small decline, 0.5%. But nevertheless, it's a harbinger of things to come. 50% of Turkey's exports go to EU. And EU is in recession and shall remain so throughout the fourth quarter and the first quarter. Of course, the vaccine is good news. I hope it has no side effects and it is as effective as proven in human trials. But nevertheless, because of the production and logistics difficulties, it's really no panacea for the winter months. But hopefully, by summer, we'll have this terrible scourge behind us and live like normal human beings again. But for the winter, EU is going to be locked down for most of the time from one country to another, and they will be able to buy less from Turkey. So our exports are going to go down, which is going to make the manufacturing industry suffer badly because most of our manufacturing production goes to EU. And of course, as far as foreign trade deficit goes, we use the Brent oil, crude oil. The prices marching towards $50 per barrel is also bad news because we import huge amounts of energy, and in the middle of the winter we're going to be saddled with huge energy bills, which of course will have to be reflected to gas and electricity prices. And finally, today we received November inflation figures. Now, listen carefully, because if you live in a developed world, you won't believe these numbers. The CPI is 2.5%, 2.3%, not for the whole year. Just for the month of November, it's 2.3%. How about yearly CPI? It's 14%. I spent a few years in the United States. The last time United States experienced double-digit inflation was during the Carter era. It wasn't his fault. It was the oil shock. But, that's when, American people experienced it for a few years. I don't think Europe, including UK, has had inflation higher than 5% over the last 20 years or so, on average. But we have 14%. And believe me, that's not the worst news. The worst news is PPI, Producer Price Index, rose by 4 percentage points and some odd commas after that. And that's the monthly increase. The annual increase is 23%. That means there are pipeline pressures on prices. Of course, producers, whenever they find the opportunity, will have to reflect this cost increases to their prices, which means CPI is going to increase in the months to come. I don't forecast inflation because I'm too stupid to do so, but I do read a lot of reports. We could see Turkish official CPI exceeding 15% in 2 months or so. Now, of course, these are official figures, which are not quite credible. Our official statistics agency, as all agencies in Turkey, are actually an extension of the government. It has no independence, and it has an incentive to underestimate inflation. Just like once it happened in Argentina during 1980s or 90s, I believe, since too many people find the Turkstat inflation figures not credible or incredible, a group of academicians, professors, and econometricians have launched a new index called ENAG. Let me show it to you just in case you know Turkish, or perhaps it's also available in English. This is ENA Group, Inflation Research Group. You can find it through Google, or as I've said, perhaps it's even available in English. But their measurement, once again, these are monthly measurements, is a CPI of 3.43%. I'm laughing because I'm paying, you know. So it's awfully bad. And it's going to get worse. I mean, let's face it, I don't understand this optimism about Turkish growth. I mean, if you believe some analysts, we're going to show some positive growth this year, maybe 1%, and next year we're going to explode and have 5% GDP growth. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in 2021. It's not going to happen in 2022. Simply because interest rates will have to be hiked again. At the end of this month, our central bank has its FOMC meeting, or as it is called in Europe, MPC meeting. And our new governor, Mr. Naci Agbal, will have to raise rates by at least 300 basis points to 18%. To 18%. Our policy rate currently is 15%, vis-a-vis Fed, where it is 0% or 0.25, something like that. And imagine what 18% policy rate would do to the economy. It's like a baseball bat to the head. Second reason why it will get worse is because the economy needs to be locked down completely. Currently, we have weekend lockdowns, starts, Friday at dusk and ends Monday at dawn. I suppose that's because the virus doesn't take weekends off, but why we won't get infected during the week when, everything is open is just, I don't understand it. I'm a simple citizen. I'm sure our president knows better. But as it is evidenced everywhere, when you lock down the economy, there is a cost. People become unemployed. Small companies go bankrupt, in particular in service industries. And this is my personal prediction, but Mr. Erdogan will have to lock down the economy completely for at least 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, sometime around mid-December. The last time we had partial lockdowns was in the second quarter. Turkish economy, the GDP declined by roughly 10%, Q-on-Q, quarter-on-quarter. All over the world, we see that companies find a way, around the COVID restrictions. So do people, in the sense of economic innovation. So, it won't be that bad this time. But let's say 5% quarter-on-quarter GDP decline. And that's going to wipe out all the gains of the third quarter. And we're going to end the year with something like 3%, shrinkage or so. So no matter how you look at it, it's a pretty bleak scene in my view. And this is what my next video is going to be. Turkey desperately needs IMF, both for funding and to come up with a comprehensive, well thought out economic reform program. I don't think Mr. Erdogan or his team has the human capital or the mentality to pull the economy out of this deep quagmire. One day before I die, I hope to give good news from Turkey. It's my dream. It's the last thing I want to do. It's my bucket list before I die. Thanks for watching Real Turkey channel. This has been another broadcast by Atilla Yeşilada. Please subscribe or share it with your friends if you like the content. Please stay home and stay healthy. Bye-bye.